The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It is yet another edition of The Big Issue. But before we proceed, let me just quickly apologize for the delay. It was due to technical faults that were actually beyond our circumstances. Well, with me here in the studio are our in-house analysts, Silas Ezewu.
Welcome.
And Chibuzo Kaibe.
Thank you.
And I'm your regular host, Chojagba is my name. And of course, today on The Big Issue, we'll be talking about the declaration of APC national leader Ahmed Bola Tinubu for the 2023 presidency and matters arising. Well, reactions have continued to trail the declaration by national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to President Muhammadu Buhari that he was interested in the presidential race come 2023. Tinubu told State House correspondents in Aso that he categorically told the president that he was interested in his seat for the 2023 presidential election. And according to him, I answered that with categorical yes. I informed President Buhari that he is interested. I informed President Buhari of my intention, but I have not informed Nigerians yet. I'm still consulting and have no problem consulting. Well, Chibuzo, the furore generated by Tinubu's declaration to President Buhari that he's interested in his seat shows that the man is very influential. I think that the reaction set the internet, the social media, especially Twitter, they were on the overdrive. And so many reactions, both negative and positive. And then, as soon as he declared, so many aspirants also came out, declaring openly to the likes of the State Governor David Umahi, former Abia State Governor Senator Ojis Okalu came out talking about their own interest. What does this portend for the 2023 presidential race?
It just got serious, much more serious rather. That he would declare or that he will run for the top seat has been a matter of speculation for a long time. For him, naturally, it's a lifelong goal for him to be president. He has always lost it, like he said. And so, before now, a lot of things have built up to this and become a matter of when. So that is why, for me, I'm not so surprised about the reactions that have trailed his declaration so far. For me, it's expected. It's might seem normal, but it just gave a whole dimension to what the politics of the APC is going to look like going into 2023. Now, immediately declared, like you rightly pointed out, we saw two other guys from the other region coming out to say they're also interested in this. The battle for where the ticket should go when it comes down south within their party has always been an issue. Whether it should go to one part of the south, this part of the south, or the other side of the south, that is the southwest or the southeast. So clearly, his declaration now shows that the southwest wants to have it, and then these other two people who declared, Ojus Okalu and Umai,
From the
also
southeast,
saying we think the southeast should come to us. But even within the southwest now, we are going to still see some other big characters come out to also declare. So it shows you that what Tinubu has done has opened or has emboldened party leaders and given them a reason why they should go back and really reflect on how they want to, and even the party leadership on how they're going to, manage affairs within the party as the momentum continues.
Thank you very much, Chibuzo. So as you heard, and of course, I think this is true. Because even within the Southwest, I think it's going to be very turbulent. And of course, that is why some Nigerians say they see Tinubu's declaration to for president as a foreclosure of Vice President Osibanjo's alleged political ambition, because he had not come out himself to declare. You only see groups thronging out to say they are supporting him, because the thinking is that it is not just like heavenly race where father and son can actually run. This one is a political race, and godson and godfather cannot be running the same political race or presidential, anyhow you put it. What do you think?
It's like I said, it got serious.
Mm.
I also say just got very interesting because the masquerade had declared, and all other masquerades, the big one had declared. Others are also big in their own respect, because the vice president for now is number 2 man in Nigeria. In fact, after the president, it's the next
biggest
president,
masquerade.
and then for now, politically speaking, Tinubu is the kingmaker, but Osinbajo is a kind of god, a kind of king himself too. So there's something about power. I said the power is not yielded on the platter. You have to step up and take it. Okay. So if Osinbajo is now or never for him. Okay. So when it comes to the issue of Tinubu coming out, I don't think he should stop Osinbajo from inspiring. He's not his father. He has used him, appointed him to be Attorney General of Lagos State, to fight the guy caught his teeth in politics. But recent revelations from a Candace book has thrown up some lot of dust. But if we read through some of the comments and the cross comments from different accounts, it is appearing as if Osinbajo was not even supported to be vice president by Tinubu.
Yes, I think I can say that in that one.
No,
Some other reactions.
yes, the reactions like
Okay,
Come from
yeah,
other
reaction to
counter
Akande's
was-
book.
and this.
Yes.
Saying that they actually that Tinubu wanted the job for somebody else, and not even proposed to somebody and some another person, I don't know, ahead of just because Usman has said that the Muslim level ticket will not fly. That is, so I said, okay, even if it not fly, it shouldn't be one to benefit. That's, to me, that is not a father. If you play father role, the godson, the father will always want his son to grow. Every father plays for his son to outgrow him. And if he has not become a vice president, and his son has become a vice president, I don't think that he should try to stop his son from becoming what he can become. But the son godfather, his godson is not actually a biker son. I know biological parents that do that. But since this guy has got to that, it's up to a person to assess his own political field and see whether he can play in that area. But I think that it should not stop him. Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians, if the power is going to go to Southwest, Tinubu can control the levels of power and then authority. But I'm sure that if you come to the public space, more Nigerians will be more comfortable with having Osinbajo over Tinubu.
Yes, Salazar.
He has his political rights, but how many of them are going to vote? When it comes to across board, let me tell you, the illnesses that are Dr. Buhari's regime, Buhari himself, has given Osinbajo to give a snippet of what he can do if he becomes president. On the times that he had the office in absence of Buhari, Nigerians experience a refreshment, a kind of a refreshing feel of governance, a calmness, and a few things happened. Some of them were reversed afterwards. But coming to the question you asked, I don't think Osinbajo should chicken out.
Thank you very much, Silas. And when you talk about Tinubu being a kingmaker, that has always been one point Nigerians have been saying. Yeah, Tinubu said he has been a kingmaker, and now he wants to become king himself. And most Nigerians say it has never happened before. A kingmaker will now come back to claim want to go to that very throne that he has been making kings out of. Does it mean that Tinubu is ready to swim against the tide? Because if you come back as a kingmaker and want to engage or enter the contest,
Who will now be
then you
our own
should be
kingmaker?
ready.
Who will now make you the king?
So, Chibuzo, what do you think about this?
Well, for me, I think not number one. I think it's clear that he has the constitutional right to contest when he seeks to.
That's the question.
So I think at that level, it's important to put that out there because for some, they, those who kick against his candidacy or his emergence, they tend to lay down on that, forgetting that number one, the man is still as eligible as any other Nigerian to contest for that seat. That's one. Two, he has a right of ambition, has a right to desire any position he wants. So at that level, I also think he has to enjoy that. Three, with regards to capacity, perhaps those are the areas one can begin to, look at. Does he have the capacity, mentally, physically, socially? We are saying socially now. Mentally and physically, is he capable to do the job? Does he have the experience, the requisite political network and network to handle that office? So these are a number of questions that we would, lay out in the course of this campaign. Now, as for a former kingmaker becoming a king, it's an interesting prospect to see. But it depends on how you look at it. There's always a first time for something to happen. So it could be a first time that will have that kind of scenario.
Tinubu will not be the one to break that thing.
And you made the argument. That nothing says a kingmaker cannot become a king.
Yeah. So it's a prospect that will be very interesting to see. But at the end of the day, it comes back to how the party, because it starts with the party. Somebody has to emerge candidate first before we even begin to think of who becomes president. What measure of clout does he have within the party to win the party ticket? Because that's the real issue. In fact, that is where the real major politics would happen. The first three major politics will happen. All of the declaration is fine and good. But when it comes down to the real politics, how many governors does he have on his side? How many delegates can he control? Are they going to use direct or indirect primaries? So there are a lot of work to be done for, in fact, not just for Tinubu, for other candidates, for other aspirants as well. So whoever plays his game better might have an edge. So it's still very fluid at this point. It's still very fluid at this point.
Well, thank you, Chibuzo. Just like what Chibuzo has said, silence. See, it is very true. The governing APC, there's serious work to be done for each aspirant. Because within the APC, almost Nigerians are wondering whether Tinubu can be able to muzzle his way against the governors who are very powerful in the party. Remember that these governors were instrumental in Buhari rejecting the Electoral Act Amendment Bill because of direct primaries, which Tinubu himself wanted, but the governors did not want. Can Tinubu be able to muzzle his way through these very powerful governors?
It's a very interesting question, and there cannot be clear answers as it is for now, because over the years the governors has consulted a very powerful bloc.
Political scientist, now you can give an
That's what I'm trying to do.
But that is what
Because we all know that the governors are more comfortable with one of their own. When Tinubu was made the vice president of candidate of PDP, I knew that the position the governors wanted one of them to be there.
Yeah.
And then the governors have always wanted to have a governor. They feel that they can relate with somebody who has had their own experience. And for administrative and even for personal security reasons, they have all intermingled in the same stratosphere, and then they feel that if anything comes up from this interaction, they can handle it better as former governors, colleagues. They're colleagues. They go to meetings, they visit each other. Some of them, when we have skeletons in the cupboard as governors, we feel that they'll be safer served if one of the former colleagues is there. They won't have the FCC on their neck the way to is when somebody. But the enemy, they all had to put it again.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The friend of mine.
I'm sorry to chip in something, Silas. I'm not cutting you. And don't forget, just put that at the back of your mind. With what you're saying, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum is also
the governor.
Fayemi.
Okay, the governor's forum, yes.
Yes.
And the chairman of the party, the person who is running the party now, is the governor in Yobe State. Do you understand? So he's going to have to face these governors. And the governors in Nigeria are powerful. They're like, I call them emperors. They're like emperors, they have a lot of power, a lot of resources. They have the state's resources to play with. They always use that into their own advantage. Both finance and all the opportunities of office of power. They use it, they delegate, they control the delegates at the state level. That is what these parents could have softened this control they have there. But right now, they don't. The governors are in charge because their wishes have come to pass. That it's going to be optional for the people to use this. And a lot of people are insinuating that Tinubu would be better served if it was enforced by direct primary, so that he can have access to delegates more. But now it is open. So, well, that is a bridge that Tinubu has to cross. If having ambition is one thing, crossing all the bridges to arrive at the destination is another thing. So I'm sure that he must have also looked at his own war chest, those who are on his side, those who can deploy to do it. Because he says he's consulting, and I'm sure that he's also consulting across even the governors who may be on his side. But it's going to be a tough step for him to get the governors on his side.
Thank you very much, Silas. And of course, you see, apart from that, Nigerians have also been complaining that they want younger people to be president. And of course, this is coming against the backdrop of President Muhammadu Buhari's disclosure in one of his interviews on national television that age had been a hindrance to his performance. Now what Nigerians are asking is that can they still trust the country's governance in the hands of Tinubu, who is in his 60s? Officially, though many believe that he's far older than that. Unofficially,
Well, it's not actually. As for age, I think the case has been made over and again by some other prominent Nigerians.
Sorry, before you go, do you know that Tinubu in his 60s, President Buhari is 79 now?
Exactly.
If Buhari had given birth early enough, he would have been giving birth to somebody of Tinubu's age.
They just
that's 79,
no.
60.
No, this 69, 79. That's 10 years. Who gives like 10 years?
69, 79.
It's just 10 years.
Tinubu says 69. Or he says he's in his 60s.
69
Oh,
on record.
That
That is official. By the time he comes to power, but if he should win, he will come there in 2023. When it will be what? 70, 71.
71.
That's right. So,
No, but this debate around age for who of the next president has been one that has raged for a while. Both sides have their good and negative parts. With age, they say comes experience. But we also have those prominent Nigerians, IBB, I think even Obasanjo have made reference to the fact that we need to have a generation shift, that Nigerians should be looking at a much younger president. Somebody, IBB, put a bracket of 60 years, mid-60s or so, I think, and that the person will bring down some other attributes the person should have. But again, for those who argue that age isn't much of an issue, they quickly point to Trump and they point to Biden and they point to one of the likes who are presently serving as heads of state or presidents in their countries. But it's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it's about what you're bringing to the table, your capacity, the presence of your mind, your consciousness, your ability to pull, whatever
Understand
resource
issues.
you have.
To understand
Yes.
issues and to know how to handle the issues.
Yes, to put whatever resource you have to ensure that you rally people behind you. Because it is one thing to even know the issues, but if you don't have the right kind of people to work with, it becomes a problem. If you don't know who to reach out to in critical areas, because the president is not just going to be a technical thing, a technocrat issue. No. You will first of all be a political leader. Because if you have your politics right, you can be sure that almost every other thing will be in place. The major cause of crisis in any society is a breakdown in the political system. If there's a turbulence within the political structure, it becomes a major problem across board. So if you have a president who understands his politics well, knows how to, and by politics, I don't necessarily mean just politics for politics' sake. I mean politics at the level of, inclusive administration of people, ensuring that you can reach out to across board of Nigeria, every part of this country, you have some goodwill that you can tap from, and people, knowledgeable people that you can bring into your team and give everybody a sense of belonging. You can be sure that to a large extent you would have calmed down a lot of tension. So that is the kind of president one would expect for a country like Nigeria, a multi-ethnic and diverse country like Nigeria. That is the kind of president we should be looking at. So,
even
as
if
much
you
as
get, trying to say
yes.
that even if you get that kind of president at the age of 70 something,
Yes, but again, I'm trying to play both ways. I'm trying to swing it this way as well, because it's not just enough to have one of these, and not have that on the other side. Because you might have all of that too, yes, but if you don't have the kind of health you should have to run the office, or because it will affect your presence of mind to that extent. The office of the president is not a 9 to 5 work. If you want to really do the job, it's not a 9 to 5 thing. It is a rigorous, particularly in the times we are in, the level of insecurity everywhere.
And the economy.
And the political divisions that we have.
Yes. Very good.
The ethnic divisions and all of the economic crisis we have. It is a job that will take your time. 24 hours, you can be sure not to have as much sleep as you ought to. You can be sure to be involved in meetings here and there. It's not about delegating things to people. This is a different scenario.
You
have to be hands-on every time, every day. So that is where the problem of age now comes in. Because with all due respect, I don't see how somebody in the 70s will be able to sustain that for 4 years. If he wants to really do the job, if that person really wants to do the job with the condition we are in now. Somebody made reference to Jonathan the other day. Say when he was president, he was almost drying out. Of course. He was almost drained out. White hair everywhere. But now he's out of office and he's looking robust and better. They also pointed same to Obama. Obama got into office, black hair. Everywhere was already.
And the problem they have is not as big, and not as big as what we have right now.
Well, it might be as big because they are like the president of the whole world. Everything that happens I know.
But it's true.
It's much more.
Chibu's on your point.
The international affairs.
Obama goes beyond issues of America to even tackle global issues.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think I he took down
Osama bin Laden.
So it requires a lot mentally and physically. Will a man in his 70s?
With the man who has not even the ability to have I don't know about his intellectual capacities, but he has not been an exponent of such, his interactions have not really shown that this person is of that caliber. Maybe we'll get to see that from his communication,
when they start reading out his manifesto, and then he's given the time to come out to do an open presidential debate. We will know.
No, that one will show. Well, Nigeria will need somebody who is a bit. Let me. I will take side. We need somebody who's younger, who's more modern, who understands modern governance, okay, and then who understands even international issues a lot. Because Nigeria, not just about Nigeria, we also play the international world arena, and we need to also position ourselves very well in the international arena for us to get the kind of respect and resource that we need. So one understands even the technology of this age. See, there's a generation shift from the past to the present. This this the world of the world internet and technology. And this one who is still we don't need to have another sorry to say we don't need another PMB Obasanjo, Buhari in office who have a kind of mindset, and once you get to that age you cannot easily adapt to new ideas. You don't need that. You need modern people going forward because we need to understand the issues and Tinubu may let's not tell him off, but Nigerians will need to see more of him to be sure that that's going to be.
Well, before we go into the last item we are going to see, in that aspect of age and the rest, we need modern technological kind of human being. But at the end of the day, don't forget, there are still Nigerian side that will be looking at you and be asking you a question. Like, what are you saying? Is it that at age that will have a modern and technological? Okay, what of the governors we have had at younger age that had total failure in their state? I won't mention name, but that is what the counter they might give you. Although it's another topic for another day. But the question now on this Tinubu presidency, most Nigerians are asking that, is it fair for Tinubu to seek the presidency when the Southwest has ruled for 8 years under Obasanjo? And they are in the presidency for another 8 years under Osibanjo now. So is it fair is it fair to the Southeast and other parts of the South for Tinubu to be president for another 8 years after? That is one critical issue about this
assuming that
this declaration.
You are assuming that if he wins, even if he wins, they are going to stay for 8 years. There's no given. It's not a given that if he wins, he must win a second time.
As far as nothing happens, they will be for we will go for second time.
I've seen a president that lost a re-election. Depending on what happens.
Most Nigerians don't see Jonathan as losing an election. What they fear is that Jonathan is a son of one fisherman's son from Otreke who came and liver failed him. At the end of the day, they rattled him, he took off. And I like the presidency. So you do see Tinubu as some kind of a president. Okay, no, let's just look
that's what Democrats, that's what happened. The issue is that if you talk to anybody on Southeast, any person who is saying his mind, not those who have been brought over, they'll tell you that they feel that the power should go to Southeast for once, for the first time, because they have not had executive power under democracy. Even when the other man, the other university was head of state, I think that was just 6 years, and they sorted him, they sorted him. Okay, so that's the history in the past, So between 1999 to now, that's how many years? 23 years. By 2023, which is what, 24 years. 24. And if they calculate it, okay, the North has held power. That tripod, the South, North, then the Southwest and Southeast. That was considered Nigeria, I think Venice. Okay, they tell the North has had that was the Southwest has also had possibly for 8 years. I feel that this time we should go to the Southeast. And then have you heard a lot of some northern voices saying should go to the Southeast? So they will feel that way. But on the part of power is sweet. I'm sure that the Southwest will also be hoping that this run they have had is continue. If it's going to confer advantages on their race, they will not care too much about that side. And since the parties seem to be stronger, the ruling parties seem to be stronger in the APC zone in the Southwest, from AD to NC to APC now. They might feel that since they have put Buhari in power, that's this time now they can also hold position. If they can get it, fine. They have a vice president who is in a position to go for it. They also have the kingmaker Kai himself. They have two very strong candidates. We still have Femi also. People are saying, so people are going to court to compel him to contest. So they want to go to court to compel him to contest. You don't know. So they have They are strong individuals. And they look at Southeast. They look at, leave that one. They have a right to do that. It's up to him to agree or not. But the South will feel that, look, in the spirit of let's have inclusion, let us come to the same. And a lot of people think that if they give it to science, some of these agitations there will subside. In fact, they will die out gradually. So that could have save Nigeria a lot of headache, because let me tell you something. If the security breaks down in the Southeast, with what's happening in the North already, the Nigerian security forces cannot handle it, because already they're not even able to handle the ones in the what? The Northwest, the Northwest, and North Central, where bandits and terrorists, all of them, are making a misfit of the people living there. So, even for Nigeria's own sanity, stability, I think that this lifelong ambition, the ambition has been long. Is this ambition to help Nigeria grow, or just to achieve I want to be president? If you feel that, if you rule over Nigeria that is dismembered, I don't think let me tell you the truth. I don't think Buhari is enjoying his presidency, because if I'm the president and they are hearing every day that people are running over, are being slaughtered, the way they are being slaughtered, and I cannot do it about it, I will get to sleep. So I don't know how he manages to sleep. I see be telling us how it's coming has improved, improved security over the country. That's when they came. Those things, I don't know what they believe it or what they feel to him. But I think I come to this Southeast issue. It's only fair and just that they should allow to produce a president that will work for Nigeria. Not just assign president, but look for the best candidate for them and allow them to work. Okay, we've all tried, and Nigeria is still getting worse and worse. Why not to try someone from this side?
A particular
and see whether they can bring their own industry, enterprise, intelligence, and all those things that they are known for in society. And one man made one point. I don't, it's not from Southeast. He was not talking that in every part of Nigeria, the Southeast are the ones that come and settle, because they feel Nigeria is their country. Many people from other places cannot easily go to other parts and settle the way they are. So if they feel that a Southeast person come there, we know that if he does well, even his brothers, his kinship in all the countries, all the parts of Nigeria will benefit. He'll be forced to do well, so that his kinsmen all over the Nigeria, all over the country, will feel the impact of the government. Not this one that doesn't have a president that I don't want to say much about that one.
Well, thank you very much, Silas and Chibuzo, for actually addressing the big issue the way it is. Well, Viola, that is the much you can take on the big issue of the day for the day. And thank you for keeping tab with us there. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Have a very wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.